What is going on, gamers? Aevatrex here, and today we are going to be talking champion. Now, in my last video like this, we were talking about paladin. A lot of people took it the wrong way, like, oh my goodness, all of that you're talking about is way too overpowered for a 1000 shard hero. Well, it got people talking at the very least, and that was the point of the video. Now, of course, everything that I said on that video about paladin, I don't expect it all to come true, but at least it got people to talking about what could be and what would be the possibilities. Now, on champions, I do have a few different ideas for champion, and I want you guys to stay with me on this one, okay? Now, champion is mainly known for stunning, right? Now, we have better stunners nowadays, but here's what I would suggest for champion. Now, like all of these new heroes that are coming out with talents, and like I mentioned with paladin, what I would give champion is a 5 of 8 heavy blow innate talent. Now that's going to benefit pretty much everybody, but it doesn't make it overpowered enough to be effective like on boss fights, etc., because they're immune to that type of thing. Now where it would come into play is things like Lost Battlefield, Lost Realm. Just imagine how much stunning a champion would do with a heavy blow, and then with like a berserk talent and no cooldown. Now I would only add the heavy blow once you get him evolved, though. That's one of the things that way early on he is not really that powerful. Once you get him evolved is where he would then get that heavy blow. And then what I would also add to champion is that once he stuns the 3 targets that he usually stuns, I would add that once the axes hit them, they take 20% more damage. Kind of like whenever you hit a target that was stunned by champion, they get stunned and take 20% more damage. The idea is pretty much that wherever the axe hits, it kind of breaks their armor, and I would say it'll probably be like for 5 seconds with a 6-second cooldown. I think that would be pretty ideal for champion, and then you would actually see champions being used more. Now, of course, maybe even that is a little bit too much, but I think that with some additions, at least similar to this, some of these newer heroes would see a lot more game time, especially higher up. Because if you make a stunning Lost Battlefield team, like with a champion, with a Dread Drake, with a Lady Leo, and then you throw in like a Lil Nick, my goodness, you're not going to move. Especially champion, because if you guys remember way back in the day where boss 3 was like the best thing ever for HP and the only boss that everybody did, champion was one of the mainstays because he could stun for pretty much forever. So ever since then, now champion's not really seeing the light of day because of that, and even in the lower levels. But with some additions like this, I think that champion would become a very viable option for a lot of things. Now I know a lot of people, they were saying that it's not smart because IGG wouldn't make any money by going back and addressing the older heroes, and I honestly couldn't disagree with you more on that subject. Okay, let's think about this logically. Okay, does going back and at least changing a little bit the older heroes, does that make IGG money directly, like releasing a new hero? No, absolutely it does not. But you know where it does make it money? Find me a game that is well balanced from top to bottom, where heroes, or whatever you want to call it, is balanced from the beginning all the way to the end, and I can assure you that's going to be a very successful game. That's just all there is to it. Whenever you find a game that is unbalanced, then that's where I can show you a game that is very unsuccessful. So if you get new players coming in, right, and they start to notice that some champions are just way better than others and they have no way of obtaining it unless they spend money, that's a game that you probably won't have people sticking around for very long. They might play a few days and whatnot, but they're not going to stick around like the older players did, where players are still here for 2 or 3 years now. And now newer players, they'll probably play for a few days, they check out the game, and then they'll move on to the next thing. But if you address the older champions, make them relevant in every single game mode from beginning all the way to like the top accounts, then you will see a game mode that is, or a game that is very, very well balanced. But I don't know, I want you guys to weigh in on this. What would you do with a champion? Now keep in mind, like the last Paladin video, maybe some of these changes are a little bit too much considering what he costs, which is basically next to nothing. Let's go back here to him. He costs just 200 shards more than Paladin, which is not much. But I want to know what you guys would do with a champion. How would you change it? And the best one that I see, I'll go ahead and pin it on the video. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and until later, bye.